Good morning, my name is Nick Wilson. I'm a student ministries intern here at Northwest Christian Church, and we're going to be talking about Proverbs chapter 4. And if you can turn to verse 20, and I'll go ahead and read it real quick for us. My son, pay attention to my words. Listen closely to my sayings. Don't lose sight of them. Keep them within your heart, for they are life to those who find them, and health to one's whole body. Guard your heart above all else, for it is the source of life. Don't let your mouth speak dishonestly, and don't let your lips talk deviously. Let your eyes look forward and fix your gaze straight ahead. Carefully consider the path for your feet, and all your ways will be established. Don't turn to the right or to the left. Keep your feet away from evil. In 2015, I had the opportunity to work for a family friend who had a cabinetry shop, and I basically got roped into the work when my mom said that he would be delivering custom cabinets to the Nike headquarters. And I was all for that. And so I decided to work for him, and it was just for a couple of weeks. His employee was out on vacation for a couple of weeks. He just needed some help with delivery. And so I got to go to the Nike headquarters. And when we first arrived there, we're in my boss's truck, and we are coming up to the garage, and the security comes out and they halt us, and they want to stop, and they have me go in. They didn't recognize me, so I have to go in and I had to fill out a bunch of paperwork, talk to security, and fill out non-disclosure agreements. And it was a couple of pages worth I had to read, and I had to get a badge printed and everything. And while I was kind of standing there waiting for my badge to be printed, Paul, my boss, was pulling in the truck. I asked the security guy, I just said, not in a judgmental way, but I'm just curious, how did you end up doing security for Nike? And he said he had done security in casinos in Las Vegas for 20, 30 years, and that he was probably the most underqualified security person working for Nike at the time. And he said that most of their security was ex-CIA and FBA, retired, semi-retired guys. And I was just blown away at the level of security at Nike. But I had to recognize that Paul and I were delivering to the shoe department. He built custom cabinets that fit the mesh for the shoes. And if you know anything about Nike, they produce a lot of good athletic wear, but their shoes are the cog that runs that company. And so in that moment, I learned that Nike knows how to guard what is important to them. And every time I read this passage, I think of that story because I focus in on verse 23. Guard your heart above all else, for it is the source of life. And when I think of my experience there at Nike, they guarded things proactively. They did not wait till we had already gotten into the walls of the Nike facility to start defending what was in there. And when I look at this passage, I see that that's the same idea that the author has for us, to guard our hearts proactively. Because if you continue, you see, don't let your mouth speak dishonestly, and don't let your lips talk deviously. Now this is talking about not doing something, but the way that it's laid out in the language, it's kind of like reining something in, which is still a proactive motion, when you rein in a horse from going the wrong direction. So first, we are proactive in what we say. Then we're proactive in where we look. Let your eyes look forward. Fix your gaze straight ahead. When we are proactive in where we look, focusing on the correct things, then we start to guard our heart proactively. And then in verse 26, carefully consider the path for your feet, and all your ways will be established. Don't turn to the right or to the left, and keep your feet away from evil. When we're proactive about the things that we say, and where we look, and the places we go, we will start to proactively guard our hearts, rather than waiting for the enemy to already be on the inside. When I went in to deliver with Paul all these cabinets, I was easily distracted by all of the shoe design, all the employees, all the posters, everything that was in the Nike headquarters. And one of the things that Paul had to constantly do was to say my name and keep me focused on what we were doing and give me instructions on how to assemble the cabinets and the tables that we're putting in. And I kept getting so distracted, but it was focusing on Paul that kept me focused in completing the task at hand. And in the same way, when we focus our words and our eyes and our actions on Christ, we will proactively guard our hearts. And above all else, our heart is the source of life. So I think it's something worth guarding. Thank you.